Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing climate change, abrupt climate change, and things adjacent. And just going to bring you some articles today. Thank you so much, as always, for your comments and discussion. The last video is quite shocking. Definitely, we're having some serious heat in the Arctic and some serious melt, and that can't mean good things for the near future, considering all the other cascading weather events that are also contributing to ultimately the collapse of the system. But anyways, a few people brought me this news about extremely hot temperatures in Mexico. Hermosillo in Sonora, hottest city in the world with record-breaking temperature. This is from Thursday. It was 48 C yesterday and could go to 50 in the coming days. Local authorities in the city of Hermosillo, Sonora, are taking emergency measures in the face of some of the worst heat the city has ever experienced. Temperatures of 48 C made Tuesday the hottest June 11th on record. 48 is very, very close to 120. I'm just guessing right now. This is around, between 115 and 120. On both Monday and Tuesday, the 48-degree temperature also won the Hermosillo the distinction of being the hottest city on the planet, beating out desert cities in the Middle East. In response, Hermosillo authorities have opened 7 emergency shelters to protect homeless people from the potentially deadly threat. So, very dangerous. So, this is an article that somebody posted. It's in Spanish, which means I can only read every third word or understand every third word. But basically, what this article is saying, and I know you can translate it. Google will translate it for you. But basically, what this is saying is the heat index. This is in the same area, Hermosillo. The heat index is 60 degrees Celsius. The heat index is 60 degrees Celsius. So what that is basically 140. Is that right? Yeah, 140 degrees. 140 degrees Fahrenheit. 140 degrees is what it feels like with humidity and whatever else is going on. So if you are in this area, be very, very careful. Take precautions, drink lots of water, and stay out of the sun. That's insane. That's just insane. But we're going to start seeing more of that around the globe, I'm sure, this year, next year, the year after that. Moving on to another article. This was brought to my attention by Imogen. More than 260 dead dolphins found on the Gulf Coast since February, triple the usual amount, NOAA says. This is from yesterday, from June 15th. Scientists from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration are investigating why bottlenose dolphins are stranding themselves at an unusually high rate in the northern Gulf of Mexico this year. Excessive freshwater in the Gulf from the Mississippi River flooding could be to blame. More than 260 dolphins have stranded themselves across Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle since the beginning of February, which is approximately 3 times higher than the historical average, NOAA said. A Mississippi scientist said the spillway opening is at least partly to blame for the 126 dolphin deaths across Mississippi's coastline. These strandings prompted the declaration of an unusual mortality event, or UME, because we need to do that with everything. Unusual mortality events are defined as a stranding that is unexpected, involves a significant die-off of any marine mammal population, and demands immediate response. Some report this as this is worse than the 2010 BP oil spill when 91 dead dolphins were found in Mississippi. Well, by number alone, that would be worse. NOAA scientists said it is too early to determine any potential causes of the unusually high stranding rate this year, but they're investigating whether lingering effects from the 2010 Deepwater Horizon oil spill and salinity changes from high rivers and a Louisiana spillway opening contributed. And then there's a map here showing the deaths over the last few months. Looks like many in May. NOAA reports that a number of the dolphins stranded from Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle had scores consistent with freshwater exposure, but those are common in the spring. May 2019 went down as the wettest on record for Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri, and Oklahoma recorded its second wettest May ever, which sparked a lot of flooding, especially for the Mississippi River. Flooding of the Mississippi River caused high levels of fresh water to be discharged into the Gulf of Mexico, which alters salinity levels in the ocean and affects marine life such as dolphins. For dolphins, too much fresh water can result in eye disorders, skin lesions, abnormal blood chemistry, and in some cases death, according to NOAA. These health effects can occur over a period of days to weeks, and these conditions can be exacerbated in dolphins with pre-existing conditions, such as injuries, infections, poor nutrition, and immune suppression. Well, these dolphins have pre-existing conditions. Don't know if they can get on Obamacare or not. An investigative team is being assembled to coordinate with the Working Group on Marine Mammal Unusual Mortality Events to review the data collected and provide guidance for the investigation. Many of the dolphins recovered are very decomposed, limiting the ability to collect samples to determine cause of illness or death. The investigation will look at potential human factors, including the opening of spillways for flood control purposes. For example, the Bonnet-Carr spillway was open for 76 days between January and June, and like other spillways, it will be investigated as a potential contributing factor to this UME, NOAA said. Unfortunately, it does not look like the worst is over yet. NOAA scientists predict there will be a large area in the Gulf of Mexico, roughly the size of Massachusetts, of low to no oxygen that may kill fish and other marine life this summer. The dead zone phenomenon happens every year, but NOAA scientists believe this year could be one of the largest ever due to abnormally high levels of water being discharged from the Mississippi River system. NOAA asked people not to push the animal back out to sea because it may be sick or injured. If the animal is alive, keep its skin moist and cool by splashing water over its body. Use wet towels to help the skin moist. Keep the skin moist and prevent sunburn. However, don't cover or obstruct the blowhole. It is also best to try to keep crowds away and noise levels down to avoid causing further stress to the animal. And there's a number here to call if you see a stranded dolphin in Southeast Marine Mammal Stranding Network. Call them. I'm going to briefly, so this was sent by a viewer. This is dead trees.
Since there's so much discussion on climate change, I've been wanting to do this video.
I don't know where this is. I'm guessing this is the Midwest.
The dead trees.
This is from Dave Hendricks.
Both sides of the road, as far as you can see. Nothing but dead trees.
More dead trees. This is a phenomenon that's happening
This is ridiculous. Talk about
everywhere.
mass level.
I saw it in Detroit when I was back east.
Come into the opening.
It's all over California.
Nothing but dead trees.
Dead trees. Dead trees. More dead trees on this side of the road. So I just wanted to show that very quickly. I'm going to link that below if you guys want to take a look at that. And lastly, we talked about protesters being having the legal penalties for protesting pipelines go up. This is from June 6th from Citizen Truth. Trump administration proposes up to 20 years in prison for pipeline protesters. A new proposal from the DOT would both increase the maximum sentence for damaging pipelines and broaden the scope of activities considered criminal. The Trump administration released a proposal on Monday that would make pipeline protesters liable for up to 20 years in prison. The administration's efforts to criminalize pipeline demonstrations on the federal level reflects numerous new state laws aimed at cracking down on environmental protests. Under current federal law, damaging existing pipelines is punishable with fines and up to 10 years in prison. The new proposal, issued by the Transportation Department's Pipeline and Hazardous Material Safety Administration, would expand potential punishment to 20 years and add vandalism, tampering with, or impeding, disrupting, or inhibiting the operation of to both existing pipelines and those under construction. Democratic lawmakers have condemned the proposal and will likely be blocked. It will likely be blocked in the House. Well, that's good. I hope that it is. Even, condemnation is one thing, an actual vote against is another. Although the proposal will most likely be rejected, it represents an intensifying struggle between fossil fuel producing states and environmental activists who seek to stop the production of new oil and gas infrastructure. Guess who's winning, though? Guess who's winning? That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time, peace.